Good morning, Kitchissippi. It is Saturday, February the 8th. This is a video version of the 423rd Kitchissippi Weekly Ward Newsletter. There is lots more information about the topics we'll discuss, including links and documents, in the weekly email newsletter, to which you can subscribe at kitchissippiward.ca. I have a couple of notes off the top this week. The first of which is I have been getting your notes about snow removal that is anticipated to get underway on Monday. I think most of you will be familiar. It takes about a week and a half to 2 weeks to get everything done. If there is a big dump of snow, they'll have to pause operations on removal and turn to snow cleanup. As I get more information about which specific streets might be done at any given time, I'll pass that on my Facebook. The other quick note is Councillor Laura Dudas tried to bring a walk-on motion, so a motion without any notice, to our Finance and Corporate Services Committee recently that would see the city required to leave X or Twitter as a social media platform. I'm wholly supportive of that. Unfortunately, the committee didn't grant permission to argue it at that meeting, but we will hear it at our next Finance Committee meeting. But I just want to take this opportunity to say that I stopped using X or Twitter several months ago. You can find me on Blue Sky now. I've got a link in the newsletter if you want to take a look at that. I am hosting pop-up office hours coming up on February the 20th. Those are going to be at the Bridgehead on McRae from 10 a.m. until 1 p.m. Pop-ups are an opportunity to come by anytime during those hours, chat with me one-on-one without appointment about anything that is on your mind. A quick note that the recording of our open house that we held last week to take a look at the proposal for 342 Roosevelt, the 6-story mid-rise, is now online. You can find that at the Kitchissippi Ward YouTube channel. Of course, I have a link to that in the newsletter. And also this week, the application for adding the 4th units into the triplexes that have been built on Parkview is now an official application. That's gone up on DevApps. The city staff are collecting feedback on that proposal. You may recall, I want to say a year ago, we had a virtual open house to take a look at that one. I've linked back to that material in the newsletter, but that is now an application on which residents are invited to comment. A reminder in this week's newsletter, the Hilda Manchester Rebuild Open House is going to be on February the 12th. That's going to be held at Devonshire Public School from 6:30 until 8:30 p.m. These rebuilds, I think many of you have gotten used to them now. They're going to rip up the street, they're going to put in new pipes, they'll put the street back together again, and that will of course include various traffic calming measures, etc. So take a look at the plans on February the 12th at Devonshire. And on February 11th, the third phase of the realignment of the Mooney's Base collector sewer is going to be done. It's going to have to cross Hintonburg Place. The city is hosting an open house at Tom Brown Arena on February the 11th from 6:30 until 8:30. Drop in and take a look at those plans. The first couple of phases of that work are now complete. It has crossed the Trillium line and another realignment as well, but now they have to cross Hintonburg Place, so take a look at the plans. The Committee of Adjustment is meeting on February the 19th. There is just one application in our ward at 511 Highcroft. The owner is proposing to put an addition on the front of their home. They're seeking a variance from the front yard setback requirement in order to be able to do that. So I have a link to that material in the newsletter. Some community news. The Carlington Community Health Center is looking for 4 new volunteer board members. The Carlington Community Health Center serves the west side of our ward. They do absolutely fantastic work. They do need board members in order to ensure that they can continue to do great work. And as I've said before, board service is a great way to serve your community. So please take a look at the poster to which I have linked in the newsletter. We have another Carlington versus Kitchissippi Trivia Night Challenge. This is largely Councillor Brockington's initiative, but I'm very happy to co-host that. On Saturday, March the 1st, the next edition of our Trivia Challenge will be held. Again, there will be pizza. That's going to be in the evening at the Alexander Community Center. Please sign up with your team to join Team Kitchissippi as we hopefully once again trounce Team Carlington. And one more reminder as well in this week's newsletter about the Champlain Park Valentine and Vintage Sale. That's going to be held tomorrow, February 9th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Champlain Park Fieldhouse. That's at 149 Cowley. The Valentine and Vintage Sale features vintage clothes, jewelry, handbags, home decor, Valentine baked goods, and more. They're also looking for donations for the Parkdale Food Center that include canned fish, peanut butter, pasta sauce, cooking oil, shampoo, toothpaste, and tampons and pads. Very busy at City Hall in terms of a council and committee agenda. The audit committee is going to meet on February the 10th. They've got a fairly meaty agenda that includes the investigation of the Trillium Line training program, investigation of building code services, as well as receipt of the 2024 fraud and waste hotline report, as well as an update on the Auditor General's work plan and progress. Built Heritage is going to meet on February the 11th. They have an agenda that includes consideration of 1121 Wellington. That's the building in which Oresta is located, next to the McGee House. So we're contemplating designating that one as a heritage building. I'm fully supportive. That was delayed from the previous heritage meeting. Just I wanted to make sure that the owner had time to consult with the city. That has finally happened, and so we are moving ahead with that. As well, there's going to be a slightly lighter agenda maybe than it's been in recent weeks. New construction on McKay, the designation of 343 Bronson, and a repeal of the designation at 6295 4th Line Road. City Council is going to meet on February the 12th. I don't anticipate it will generate a ton of headlines. We will be voting on the motion that I got passed successfully at the Planning and Housing Committee to accelerate our official plan change to allow shelter in any urban zone, but I don't anticipate that will see too rough a passage. We're also going to get in-camera briefings on the corporate security, as well as a legal update with respect to LRT, and we're going to consider a mandate for management as they enter into contract negotiations with city staff. The Transit Committee is going to meet on February 13th. The substantive item on that one is the usual sort of comprehensive para, bus, rail operations overview. Always look forward to that. And Councillor Brockington has submitted his report from attending the International Association of Public Transit North American Forum. The Environment and Climate Change Committee is meeting on February the 18th. They've got a relatively workaday agenda of items for consideration. There are updates to the Residential Protective Plumbing and Compassionate Grant Program, the Sewer Use Bylaw, an extension of the Landfill Gas Utilization Agreement, as well as receipt of the annual Drinking Water Source Protection Status Update. Councillors are also going to debate a motion from Councillor Menard that would accelerate things like municipal retrofits for cost and greenhouse gas savings. The Planning and Housing Committee is going to meet on February the 19th. We've got an agenda that includes a demonstration of the new housing dashboard. I've had a chance to take a look at that. It's quite an exciting tool, along with multiple rezonings, including at Rideau and Besserer, 35 McKay, Aerosmith Drive, March Road, March Valley Road, and 250 Forest Glade Crescent. And we'll also receive the latest cash in lieu of parkland numbers. And other meetings that are going to be coming up include the Police Services Board Finance and Audit Committee on February the 10th, the Board of Health on February the 10th, the Ottawa Public Library Board on February the 11th, the French Language Services Advisory Committee on February the 13th, and the Accessibility Advisory Committee on February the 18th. So very busy at City Hall right now. Take a look in the newsletter for links to all of those meetings with the associated agendas and documents. Kitchissippi, I think we're in for an absolutely beautiful week. I hope you have a great weekend, and thank you for watching.